Hi, everyone. Today we're jumping in with the 3 keys to having more than enough in your business, making more than enough. And this is specifically for online service providers who are really amazing at what they do, but they feel like they're on this business hamster wheel of not making the money that they want while also feeling like they're just doing a lot of stuff all the time, taking a ton of action, but in the end, they're not making the amount of money that they want to be making. This could also be for freelancers or side hustlers or people who are transitioning from corporate into having their own business or doing something on the side. So this is specifically for you guys if you're feeling overwhelmed, overworked, undervalued in what you're doing, and you feel like for the amount of time that you're putting in your business, you're not actually getting the amount out that you would like. And this is not just about getting by. So, I mean, some people do. There's like, I just want to fucking make enough to cover my expenses, pay myself enough to cover my personal expenses, make sure the business is paying for itself. But ultimately, this is what we're talking about today is how to actually be well-resourced. So making more than enough. So that looks like getting respect from clients, not just monetarily, but also through the way that they actually treat you. It's about getting your time back so that you're not in constant work mode. And it is not just about getting a paycheck from your business, but maybe even giving yourself a raise. And I mean, there's lots of things you can do when you give yourself a raise, so I won't even go there. So first things first is I want to share 3 mistakes that people make when they're trying to make more money in their business and make more than enough in their business. So the first big mistake is in selling their time. So if you're someone who has an hourly rate and you're pitching someone your hourly rate, then that is, or a full day session with you, or a package of sessions that are connected to how many hours you put in your business, you're selling your time. And time is a limited resource. Okay. We could go the route of how we're on the quantum field and time isn't actually real, but okay, in 3D reality, time is a limited resource that we need to pay attention to. You can this is where I know you guys are like magical people, and me talking to you, I don't want to get like too like I feel like I can argue myself of like, yes, time is a limited resource, but also you can like quantum leap, and also you can like change the past and all of these things. But in the day-to-day of your business, time is a limited resource. You have 40 hours a week and you have to get a certain amount of things done, or 40 hours in a work week usually, or however many hours in a 24-hour day. Yeah, 24 hours a day. Boom. So it is this limiting resource that we're playing with. And if you're selling your time, then you are going to cap. You are the only way you can actually grow your business, especially if you're not charging enough for the hours that you're working, is by raising your prices, which is important, absolutely important in growing your business. But to actually get into making more than enough, you actually need to be separating away from selling your time. So the next big mistake I see people making is thinking, I'm good at what I do and that is enough. I'm good at what I do and that's enough. And being good at what you do is obviously important. You having an excellent offer and you getting your clients and customers results through your work, that is absolutely important. But when it comes to running a business, it's not enough. And it can, if you think that, it can actually keep you from growing to how much you want to be growing, whether that is making 6 figures in your business, being the breadwinner in your business. You do need to start stepping away from all I have to do is focus on my craft, because it's not true. Maybe if you're working for a company and you are just the crafts person in the company, or that skilled person in the company, and then the rest of the business, all of these other people can be handling the other aspects of it. But if you're listening to this today, you probably don't have like a team of 10 people, or you are your own business owner. So you have to actually take care of all of the other aspects in your business. And maybe you're even pissed of seeing people who are not as good as you making more money. So this is a good indicator. Right? If you're looking around and being like, I'm a better astrologer than that person, or I'm a better graphic designer than that person, or I'm a better coach than that person, and I'm not doing as well as them. Like they're sharing, I can see how well their business is doing and I'm just not there. That is a great indicator that you are relying so much on your craft when you need to be pulling in other elements. And we'll get to what to do instead in a second. So the third mistake that I see is just taking action. Just taking action and thinking that action is the main thing that you have to take. And if you are tired at the end of the day and you look back and you're like, what the fuck did I even do today? Or like you set a to-do list at the beginning of the day and you work that full day, and at the end of the day you look at your to-do list and like you've only crossed off a few things. You're like, what did I even do? What did I even do today? This is a good indicator that you are focusing too much on action in your business and just the actions that you take. And this can, if you're just focused on actions, it's going to feel a lot like you're spinning your wheels, and you can often be taking the wrong actions. When you're just focusing on actions, it's very easy to take a lot of the wrong actions and them to not actually pay off. This can also look like productive procrastination. So with those wrong actions, like if you're spending hours and hours like piddling around on Canva and you're not a graphic designer, you're just like someone who's making social media posts for your business, you're just wasting time and taking actions and buffering or procrastinating on more important things because you're unwilling to feel uncomfortable in doing new things or doing things that feel edgy for you. So just recap on those three big mistakes I see that would actually prevent you from making more than enough in your business. And that is selling your time, thinking that being good is enough, being good at what you do is enough, and just taking action, just focusing on taking action. Okay, so what to do instead? Here are the 3 things that you want to do instead when you're trying to make more than enough in your business. The first one is you want to, instead of selling time, sell transformation. Okay. So when you do this, your business is endlessly scalable. And what I mean by you're selling transformation is people don't actually care how long something takes for you. So if you're selling like a 10-hour package as an OBM or something else, or 10 60-minute sessions with you, people don't actually care how long it takes for you to do the thing or for them to get the result. In fact, ideally, most people, most amazing clients, they want to get to their end result where they want to be in your business as an end result of working with you as fast as possible. And you're actually able to charge more when you get people results faster. So if you're super focused on selling time, you can be like, well, I just want people to buy more of my time. Like, I mean, what a weird like indentured servant situation that is when you're just like, I just want people to buy my time from me. Anyways, when you instead are focusing on the transformation and you're selling the transformation, you're talking to people, okay, this is the end result that you want. This is the destination you're trying to get to. People don't care how long it takes. They don't care the methodology that you use. They just want to get to their end result as quickly as possible. This is endlessly scalable. The quicker it takes, the less hour it takes you, the better. So first things first is making sure that you're selling transformation. The second thing is that realizing, instead of focusing on just on your craft and being obsessed with your craft, yes, you want to be obsessed with your craft, you want to be good at what you do, but you need to have this perspective shift that my business is a magical practice and my business is a work of art, my business is a masterpiece, and instead infusing all of the other aspects of your business with art creation and magic. And if you're able to do this, and if you're able to infuse all of these other elements of your business with this pleasure and excitement and value, suddenly where before marketing and selling felt icky and draining to you, you can actually transform it into acts of service or art, like we said, like creating art. So this is so incredibly key. And this is why you might be looking around and being like, why are they succeeding and I'm not? It's because they're getting excited about all of these other important elements of business, like marketing, like sales, like digging into your metrics and your numbers. Okay, eventually you're obviously going to want to outsource things that are not in your zone of genius. But when you're trying to get to the space of sufficiency, of enoughness, and then more than enoughness, you do have to find a way, your unique way of making these other elements of your business so much more fulfilling and exciting and magical. So I just today started reading a book recommended by a friend and a colleague, Anna Marbeck, who we're actually going to have on the podcast next week to talk about planetary magic. And it's called Wealth Magic by Damon Brand. And let me actually get the actual name of the author. No, we're just going to get it. I think it's Damon Brand. And side note, he's apparently a controversial guy because he like talks about doing magical workings with angels and demons and all these other things. So I haven't done this. I just started reading it. I'm enjoying it. But there's a quote in here that I jumped into that made me really excited because I was like, oh my God, what a great example of business and magic, business being magic and magic infused in business. So the quote is, one way to work magic is with intensity. You set up an outrageously complex and mind-altering situation and evoke forces that can work for you. Another is to work slowly, gently, with lots of repetition, so that your requests are heard. Okay, you heard those two different things. First is like these really deep, intense, shocking situations. They work really fast. They happen in this really short time window. And the other is just doing this consistent practice over and over again, and that working, and it just being this like simple practice, short practice that you're doing every day, and it works over time. And I read that and I was like, oh my gosh, this is kind of like selling in marketing, in business, because this intent with launching, if you're launching an online program or a course, you have this short window of time that you are getting supported by other forces, like magical forces and like affiliates. Or you have like evergreen style models where you are just mentioning your programs every day, all the time, and thinking of new different ways of selling it over and over and over again. And oh my God, it's like literal parallel of marketing and selling and literal occult magical practices. And I wanted to bring this up because so many magical people or creative people or artistic, spiritual, whatever people, alternative people, they are so resistant to marketing and selling when it's actually a magical practice. I mean, hello, the name of this podcast is Business as a Magical Practice. And I read that and I was like, oh, it's not just me that feels this way. I love finding those examples, those direct examples of someone talking about the occult and being like this mirror, this mirror with business. So this key to making more than enough is actually seeing this magical parallel and getting curious and having fun and finding pleasure and getting creative with different ways that you can actually market and sell with your business. Okay, moving on. Our third key to making more than enough in your business is mindset and magic. And I guess we just kind of started on that in our last key, but this is in direct, not opposition, but this is directly linked to if you're focusing too much on action and you instead want to be just as much focused on mindset and magic. And I mean, magic can mean a lot of different things for people. If you're into like actual occult spell workings, yes, that's what I'm talking about. If you're working with deities or like planetary deities, or just straight up like law of attraction things, journaling, visualization, hypnosis, like these are all magical practices. So if you're actually able to do this, you can get so much more clear on what actions you are going to take, because the whole point of magic is to align chance in your favor. Okay, so if we're like looking forward at all the possibilities of the different decisions you can make, and like this decision tree of like going off from you of occurrences that you can make decisions of, or like different occurrences in external situations, what we're doing with magic is we are aligning all of the chances. So this potentially unlikely situation is more likely to happen, or this slightly more favorable situation is definitely going to happen. That's what a magic allows you to do. And it actually allows you to get on the level where you know what actions to take. And I remember watching a Teal Swan video a few years ago, where she was talking about how in the past, like hundreds of years ago, when you would go to a tarot reader or like a psychic, they would be able, and like just an average lay person going, they would be able to tell that person's future with so much accuracy, because like the potential futures for those people were like 3 potential futures for these people. We're now in the day and age where the consciousness on the planet has lifted, and our consciousnesses, that might be a word, have all lifted. And I mean, age of the internet, whatever is happening, we now have like hundreds and hundreds of different futures that we have the potential to go towards. And all like each, if you can imagine like 20 different webs coming out from you, and then all of those splitting off into 20 different webs, and all of those splitting off into 20 different webs. So like suddenly we have so much more agency than people hundreds of years ago did as an average person. Maybe there were those people who had so much, like already knew the amount of agency they had, but people in this day and age really do realize how much agency, and I'm sure you're listening to this, you know how much agency you have to create your future and like go down these different paths. You're not like going down just this one path. So what magic really does is it allows for you to be in control. Let's use control. You to have a lot more control in what path you're going down and what result you're going to get to. How do we actually make these synchronicities align and these coincidences happen so that your desired end result happens? And I mean, how much better is that than just like, I'm just going to like bust through my to-do list, right? Like mindset and magic actually make it so there's less things on your to-do list, and make it so you can like get to that end result faster. So just quick recap what you want to be doing for making more than enough. And we can like, please DM me if this is really, this is a topic that's really resonating with you, because I have a lot more to say on this, obviously. But for today, 3 keys to making more than enough in your business is selling transformation instead of selling your time. Seeing your business as this magical practice and this work of art, instead of just being obsessed with your craft and not focusing on any other parts of your business. And paying attention to mindset and magic as much as you would just taking action as crossing off your to-do list. So if this is something that you are a fuck yes around, I want to invite you to get on the Monetize Your Magic early access list. The Monetize Your Magic is our 8-week program for getting to financial stability, but really like it's straight up what I did to get to my first 10K months and expand beyond that now. We're after years and years of being a freelancer and making like literally just enough to pay my bills and like having to super obsess around my budget every single month of like, okay, $400 goes towards groceries and like $50 towards this thing. And like, I like had spreadsheets around this, to now being in a place where I get to find new fun ways to spend money and invest money. That's good for me and good for my business and good for my family. And there was just like such a stark reality of just looking back a few years of when uncovering these steps, these 8 elements that really were key to getting from, like, I was literal years of having to be extremely frugal, even though I was in a marketing field, even though I was a marketer, but as a freelancer and as this self-employed person, this online service provider, I was just making enough. I was always just making enough. So if you're excited about that, Monetize Your Magic opens January 31st. I can't wait to share it. It's something that I've been wanting to share for the last 6 months, but it hasn't been right timing for my business. And we're finally getting to open the program for the first time ever publicly. I created it for the Alchemical Business Intensive, which is my mastermind program, my higher level mastermind program for people in there. So like literally hasn't been available to the public. This is the first time it's going to be available to the public. So that is open publicly on January 31st, which is Monday coming up. So just a few days. If you want early access to that, where you literally can start with lesson 1, module 1, as soon as you join the program, make sure you sign up for the early access list, which is at thedirtyalchemy.com/MYM. It is in the show notes, or it's in my link tree on Instagram. And so you can actually you'll get an email on January 29th to join then, and you get a couple days early access, and you can spend the entire weekend just diving into everything. So more info to come. I'll be talking about this for the next couple weeks, and everything. This is such a fun period because I haven't really talked that much about people who are just starting out in business, or just in this, I need to make enough for my business, or I need to make a little more for my business. I just haven't talked about that much. And this is for the next 2 weeks, we're really going to be diving in, and I can't wait to see you in the program. You're going to get 8 straight weeks of weekly coaching calls with me within the program. Again, this is something that has only been available within my higher level mastermind. So I'm just so excited to share this with all of you. And as I mentioned, next week I'll be having Anna Marbeck on the podcast. We're talking about planetary magic, and I'll see you then. Have a great week, you all.